This week on a podcast from Beneath, we're going to talk about It Chapter 2.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. The unburied dead are coming back to life, seeking human victims.
Billy, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Kind of tired.
Oh, me too, man. Me too.
Long day at work. Long day at work.
Yes. Definitely.
So, It Chapter 2. What are your thoughts on it?
Hey, no, I'm joking. It was good. It was maybe I kind of hyped myself too much for this movie, but like it wasn't as good as the first. Of course, that's how it usually is. Sequels usually, or second continuations of movies aren't usually good as the first. It still had its charm. I thought some of the jump scares got repetitive, kind of got annoying a little bit. The acting I thought was good. I thought the grown-ups played really good adult versions of the children, especially Bill Hader's as Richie Tozer and James Ransone as Eddie Kasparak. I thought those two characters killed the movie. I thought they did excellent. And their banter between each other was great. And of course, Bill Skarsgård did another fantastic performance as Pennywise.
I too enjoyed it. I would say the first part was the better of the two.
Yeah.
I don't consider this a sequel though, because I would just say it's a continuation. It's the same movie. You know what I'm saying? It's almost not really. I just don't consider it a sequel, really. My only complaint, well, I probably have more than one, but we'll just go with
the one that really
complaint.
gets you.
It was too long.
5 minutes shy of 3 hours.
I think there was some stuff they could have cut out.
What do you think they should have cut out? Like, there
was a lot of the flashback stuff that they could have cut out.
Oh, about the treehouse.
Yeah, the treehouse stuff.
Or would you call that a treehouse? It was like in the.
It was underground.
Yeah.
I guess clubhouse is what they call it.
Yeah, clubhouse. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they could have cut some of that out just to kind of move it along, because I kind of think they had too much of the flashback in this movie. Like, I don't think they should have went back to the kids as much, because that was the first movie, and now this is the adult part of the story. And I think that of course, I know in the book it jumps back and forth through the whole book.
Yeah, and I know they had to de-age the characters. Like you could,
the kids.
To me, I could,
there was
tell.
the scene with, I think it was young Richie. When he was it young Richie that was getting attacked by the Paul Bunyan statue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the scene where I really noticed that they had to de-age that kid, because you could just really tell it looked CGI.
I noticed I can't remember what scene. I think it was with all of them. It was when Eddie was talking. He kind of sounded different. It was kind of the way he was talking, kind of was like sped up a little bit for some reason.
Yeah, they had to like change their, I guess, high pitch their voice a little bit more because obviously the actors grew up. But yeah, I think they could have cut a lot of that stuff out, and just cut back to scenes from the first movie, if they wanted to, as to move, I wouldn't even say move the plot along, but if you just wanted to cut back to something as a reference,
yeah,
you could do that. But I think they went back too much, and it kind of slowed it down a little bit.
Yeah, I could have went without flashback with young Bill when he's like yelling in the sewer, the one that Georgie died.
Yeah.
Thought that was kind of pointless. It really didn't do anything. And like the kind of like the side plot of like Bill trying to save that young kid, it like as soon as it happened, like that was it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and like I don't know, was that in the book? Because I know that wasn't original. My only reference is the original TV series, or not series, but made for TV movie. And I know they didn't do anything like
man,
that.
it's been years. I honestly, I don't. I want to say no. I think they might have just added that in. I don't think that was in the
Yeah,
book.
that would be like another thing that they could have completely cut out.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I like some of the jump scares. Kind of got repetitive, but then again, we are talking about the guy who does the fucking Annabelle movies.
Right. Now there were jump scares in the first one.
Yeah, but they were more. I thought they were more kind of creative and not just, and like the nightmares that they can only use. I thought were a lot better in the first one than it was in this one. Like the lady, she looked laughable, to be honest with you.
You mean like after when she comes out and she's gigantic?
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looked. I mean, it looked CGI, but it looked not just CGI, but it just kind of looked goofy. Like I think it was creepier when she was just in the background.
Yeah, I did too.
Doing weird stuff, and then at one point she was completely naked. Like I think that was creepier than the gigantic, monster.
I didn't really
the googly eyes.
I really didn't understand. After Bev left that house, it showed like Pennywise in human form, and then him like scratching his face. I was like,
oh, like he was putting the makeup on. And
yeah,
scratched the the lines that are over his eyes.
I was like, did that really? I didn't really understand like why that was in it because it didn't last that long. It was just like he said something, and then it was it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was. Yeah, I'm trying to remember some of the other jump scares. I mean, the one that really worked. There was one jump scare that worked, and that was whenever the girl goes under the bleachers chasing the firefly.
Yeah.
She has like a birthmark on her cheek, and there's a back and forth between her and Pennywise.
Yeah, I thought that
about
was good too.
people making fun of him, and he says that he could like blow that birthmark off of her cheek. He tells her to come closer, and he's like, I'll count to 3, and he's just like 1, 2, and then just nothing, just sitting there staring. And it goes on for a little bit, and then she's like, "You're supposed to say 3," and then he just like bites her face. Yeah. I thought that was a really effective one. I think it was just because of Skarsgård and like that face that he makes, with his eyes.
Yeah.
Looking in 2 different directions and just real still, and he started drooling. It was that was a good one.
I was very surprised that they had like when they opened up the movie because they showed the brutal attack of the gay couple.
Right.
And like I was honestly surprised that they showed that. I thought maybe it'd get some heat or something, but I don't think it did. And I thought that was cool how it showed him like going in and out of the water, and it shows Pennywise and his eyes are glowing.
Yeah, that was a good
scene. Yeah. And I thought that Henry Bowers, I thought that he was kind of underused.
Yeah, to me that they could have just really left that out because he didn't really accomplish anything.
I thought he died when fucking Eddie stabbed him in the chest.
Yeah, I did too, and I thought that was going to be the end of it, but it wasn't. Like I said, he doesn't. Like I don't know what all he done in the book, but I know in the original show he stabs Mike,
yeah.
And I guess that kind of takes Mike out of the picture for like the final battle or whatever.
See, in that scene right there, it went from like kind of intense. And then fucking when he stabs Eddie and Eddie stabs him, Eddie's like, man, it's the 80s, get a new fucking haircut or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, I thought the shifts between tones kind of didn't match sometimes. I thought some of the comedic parts kind of um, overshadowed the dramatic parts at times.
Yeah, but yeah, just to stick with the what's his name? Who are we talking about?
Oh, I'm talking about Eddie?
No.
Oh, Bill
The
Hader?
no, the bully.
Oh, Henry Bowers.
Yeah. I think they could have just cut that out because another thing too is like at the end of the first one, I don't understand how he survived that fall.
Yeah, cause it showed him he was fine. He hit part of his body on that rock.
Yeah, and I just don't. I just like I was expecting him not to even be in this one.
Yeah.
And then when he showed, because it shows like a bunch of water as if the sewer system is being flooded out, and like all those kids' bodies come dumping out. And then he was in there and he's alive and walks home. It didn't make sense. I was just like I don't know why they're and to not use him more than what they did.
Yeah, and I know the first movie. I don't remember if it showed what that he killed his other friends.
I I don't think it. I don't think they showed it either. And of course, in the original, he didn't kill his dad. I think he just maybe he got the blame for.
He took blame for the child murders.
Yeah, for the murders, and that's why he was locked up.
Um, and I thought, like I said, I mean the parts. It was funnier than I expected it to be. Bill Hader, like I said, killed it. He did a great job.
Yeah, I would love to see him, and then the guy that played Eddie.
Yeah.
James Ransom. I would love to see those two in some more movies together.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
I'm surprised they didn't, do more with Bill's wife.
What do you mean?
You know how I honestly can't remember if she was a big part in the book.
Yeah,
in the series, she went to go see him. Yeah.
And then how she gets
kidnapped by Pennywise. She sees Pennywise's deadlights. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that either. I guess maybe that replaced the other kid replaced that part. I guess.
Probably could be. Yeah. I thought that the way that Ben and Beverly finally I thought that was a cool scene where she was getting drowned in the blood, and he was getting buried in the dirt, and then he finally told her he loved her. I thought that was a good moment. I thought.
Yeah, but they didn't really build up to that as much.
It shows him being sad because she's looking at Bill and stuff.
Yeah.
But in the first movie, she mentions the card, and he's like, "What? What's that from?" So it's did she not know? Still not know it was from fucking Ben?
Yeah, I don't know. And like I said, they didn't really build. They didn't have enough character development between those two, between Ben and Beverly, through the beginning part of the movie, to where at that end part it's just whatever.
And Stan,
they end up
quickest scene ever. It took one day to shoot, I bet.
Oh, when he kills himself?
Yeah, grown up Stan. I was pretty sure, I was hoping they would say it, hit in blood on the wall. Like it did in the book.
Oh, yeah, like it did.
Like he did in the book and in the miniseries.
The miniseries, yeah.
But like I said, they cast the adult versions pretty good.
Yeah, the guy that plays old Eddie looks exactly like the kid.
Even older Stan. Yeah, it looks like.
Oh yeah. They kind of looked identical also.
That's the guy from Swamp Thing.
He plays Swamp Thing?
He plays human. He plays Alec Holland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I know that the director was talking about a supercut of both movies, because there's apparently, can't remember if it was in this movie or the first part, there's a scene that takes place in the 1600, and it kind of gives you an origin of Pennywise.
That was in this movie.
No, was it?
Yeah, because it's whenever Mike is showing Bill that um, ceramic jug thing that has like the drawings on it,
The
and he gives him that. He spikes his drink to make him
hallucinate.
hallucinate and see the.
The ritual chewed.
Yeah. Then they show Pennywise arriving to Earth, and then they're trying to do the ritual, and he's like, kind of like the big spider monster or whatever.
And I thought the way they killed him, I thought was kind of like what? Like they all they had to do was think that he was weak, and then that would have killed him.
Yeah, it was kind of.
It's kind of cheap.
I'm gonna say it was kind of anticlimactic. But I'm not sure of another way that they could have done it.
Yeah, I don't know. They could have done better. I just thought, like I said, it was Gary Doberman or Doberman or however you say it. Like, I'm honestly not a big fan of his. Honestly, I think the reason why he gets all these writing jobs mostly for the James Wan movies because he's a cheap writer. He he does stuff fairly cheap.
Right.
And he's notorious for doing fucking jump scares. And like when I found out that he was doing like the whole movie, I was like, oh, it kind of gave me a little bit of dread. And like I said, the reason why the first part's like way better is because he didn't write the whole script. He only did some rewrites because the draft of Carey, I'm not going to say his last name. He had already had a full script, and they used most of his draft, but just some stuff they cut out. That's why I thought was way better because I think that Carey dude's a way better writer.
Yeah. What do you think about the Chinese restaurant scene?
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was really like it was pretty much the same as the original series, but the fortune cookies in this one were a lot creepier.
Yeah.
That little, it was some kind of bug with like a baby's face on it.
Oh yeah.
that was kind of creepy. And then of course the eyeball. What else was there? Then it was some other. So whatever that one thing was, it just had a wing. I guess it just had like one wing coming out. Like it didn't make it out of the entire fortune cookie. It was just kind of flapping around.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought like the whole chemistry during that whole scene was really well done, and looked like they were just having a good time. And it did throw me for a loop that they made, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Eddie was the gay one in the book, if I'm not mistaken, or I might just be thinking of something else. Because I was very surprised that they used the gay angle on Richie, right. And that he had a crush on Eddie. I don't, as far as I can remember, I don't think that was in the book, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I know it wasn't in the original miniseries.
Yeah. Well, I think it kind of insinuated it because with Eddie is because I remember the miniseries, Pennywise called Eddie Girly Man.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie had not been married and all that. Yeah, but I thought it was a favorite character was Richie though. I just love Bill Hader.
Yeah, he was my favorite part of the film. There was one scene that really bugged me, and I don't know why they done it, and it's whenever Eddie goes into the basement of the pharmacy.
Oh, yeah.
And the leper shows back up, and I guess he starts getting brave, and he's like choking the leper.
Yeah.
And it starts spitting like black goo in his face. And then for like 10 seconds, they play a song, that Call Me Angel of the Morning. And it cuts off, and there was like no, and I don't understand. I didn't get that. I don't know why they done it that way.
They were trying to be funny.
I know, but it didn't work. It was just, I don't know, it didn't work, and I didn't understand it. It kind of ruined that scene, I guess.
Me and the girlfriend and her friend, we're the only ones like laughed at some of these parts in the movie, like when Eddie, or not Eddie, but when Richie, it's like towards the end, he's like cussing at it or whatever, and then like Pennywise shows him the deadlights. Like the way that happened, like it sounded for a second like dubstep was going to play. It was like,
right, yeah.
And his look on his face, Bill Hader's face,
yeah.
like we were the only ones dying laughing at that part. Everybody else was just like not having it. It was pretty funny though. And I know that Eddie dies in the book and he dies in the miniseries. And they had him die in this one too.
Right.
And when Bill Hader kills Henry Bowers and then starts puking.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was going to be, before it showed that it was Richie, I thought it was Ben that killed him. Because when when Henry stabbed Eddie, and then Ben ran upstairs to I guess to see if Henry was there, he had jumped out the window, which I don't know how he did. It looked like it was pretty far up.
Yeah, I know.
And then he got in the car and everything. So I thought Ben was the one that killed Henry, but it ended up being Richie.
What did you think about the It homage that they had in this movie? Or not It, good lord. The Thing homage.
The young Stanley head?
Yeah.
Oh, when it said it, I was like, oh, The Thing. Oh, I thought it was a good homage.
Well, even the line that I think that Richie says, he says, "You got to be fucking kidding me" or something, right?
I can't remember.
And I think that was from The Thing also in that part.
Gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm also glad we got to see that scene where Bill's going to get his bike. I thought Stephen King was going to be Pennywise.
Oh, really? It didn't even dawn on me.
I thought he was going to like do something, but ended up he's being a regular guy. He ended up getting his bike. I don't think Stephen King was even in the first part.
No, I don't think he's been in a lot of. I don't think he's done cameos in a while.
And I kind of
any of his other movies.
And I wonder what scene he had them put in personally.
What do you mean?
There's a scene that I read about a while back that Stephen King had them put in the movie.
Oh, I don't know.
And I wonder.
You mean like something from the book, or?
I think so, maybe. So I remember reading something about it, like he had him put something in the book or put something in the movie. I wonder what it was though. It might have been I don't think it was the opening scene. I don't know. And I know they were saying like that scene with Beverly when she's I thought that scene with her in the stall was pretty good.
Oh yeah, when everybody's creepy. Yeah, they're trying to open the door, but they're like gigantic.
Yeah.
That was that was like a running theme in this movie of like gigantic things, right?
Yeah.
Like Paul Bunyan, the old lady turns big.
Or maybe it was the Paul Bunyan scene, because I know that's in the book. Maybe that's the one that Stephen King had him put. I'm not sure. So I know that's in the book. But I know they were saying it was the most, which I don't think it was. But they were saying it was like the most blood ever used, fake blood ever used. I was like, I don't know. I think Evil Dead remake has a beat.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because that was like 50,000 gallons. And I doubt that was 50,000 gallons on the stalls. I love how when Eddie, when all that shit happened to Eddie in the basement of the pharmacy, and he tries to get out, and that same girl chewing bubble gum.
Oh yeah, the pharmacist's daughter.
Yeah. She's still living the dream.
Mm.
But in about 20 years or so, we'll get another remake of this.
Well, I've heard that they're before we move on there, what did you think of the way they done? I don't want to say it's, but I guess like his final form at the end when they're fighting him and he's the spider.
This is okay. It's a lot better than the miniseries one.
Yeah, but I just wonder why did they leave? Why was it just the body and they kept the Pennywise head?
I'm not sure. It kind of gave you, if you don't remember, in the first part of the movie, or the first It Chapter 1, I should say, when they're kids and they're fighting Pennywise, he kind of shows that.
Yeah, the legs are. But I just wonder why they kept. Like, why didn't he turn completely into whatever that other form is?
Probably because they didn't. Maybe they couldn't come up with a design that looked right. You know what I mean? And like Pennywise is an entity. He's like what we see him as. Like that's what our mind can comprehend because he says that his true form is like our minds couldn't comprehend it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't go. It said his human name that he goes by Robert Gray, because I know he says that in the book. He's like, my name, because that's what he says to George. My name is Robert Gray. Pennywise the dancing clown.
Right, and I think that's what he was. I think that was his name in the Dreamcatcher also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know. Dreamcatcher and Tommyknockers supposedly takes place a couple years after the grown-ups from it supposedly killed Pennywise. And then there's a memorial to like the people that got killed in the flood in Derry, and it says Pennywise lives.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
And then in Tommyknockers, one of the characters is driving through Derry, and he swears he sees a clown in the sewers, staring at him.
Uh-huh.
And he hears children, laughing or playing or whatever. But so I don't think you could really kill Pennywise because he's, like I said, he's like an entity. He's as old as the earth. And so I wonder if Stephen King will ever make another It movie, or not It movie, but a book.
The director of this one was saying that he would like to do a prequel. I guess maybe the 27 years before the first movie. I'm saying whatever was happening then.
Or when he slaughtered all the Native Americans.
Yeah, maybe something like that too.
It shows the Native Americans. I know they're really the first ones to actually fight Pennywise. They also call Pennywise the Dairy Disease. It goes by Robert F. Gray, the Dairy Disease, the Eater of Worlds. I think that's all the names that Pennywise goes by.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm just a little slightly disappointed in this movie, and it's my fault because I kind of hyped it up. Even though that I knew the writer, I was like, oh, maybe it could be good, or maybe it's going to be awesome. And it in some parts it was awesome, but nearly is not as good as the first parts. And like I said, I'm just not a big fan of the writer.
Yeah, like I said, my only complaint was, my biggest complaint was it was still a bit too, they could have cut stuff out of it.
Yeah. And
it still got to the point, and you wouldn't have missed anything. And I don't know why why would you want to do an extended version of it?
Oh, man. He wants to do a super cut for the first movie, the first part, and chapter 2.
I say you just cut out all the flashback stuff from this movie, and then just put it together with the first movie.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the newly filmed stuff with the kids.
It is crazy how within a year, how much those kids have grown.
Yeah, I know.
Well, not really all of them. The girl that plays young Beverly, I don't know if they really did anything to her. She didn't look like she was really too much CGI.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell. I know she kind of course, I don't know when they filmed it, but she still looks the same because she's in that new Gretel and Hansel movie.
Yeah.
And she still looks the same.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know when they filmed that. So.
Yeah. And I know the guy that plays young Richie. I know he's gotten tall.
Right.
Finn Wolf. I can't remember his last name. Finn something. Stranger Things. And Ben looked the same. Young Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I thought that scene with him in the locker was pretty good too. I forgot to mention that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a good, because I thought maybe the whichever new kid that was, the poster, I thought maybe he was going to come to life and do something.
New Kids on the Block basically comes to life.
Yeah. That's what I thought they were going to do, but
I'm surprised they didn't really mention that, in this movie. To like a little throwback from the first movie.
well, they did kind of.
Oh, did they?
Whenever in that one flashback where he's in class and all the kids leave and then he's sitting there by himself and then Beverly comes in, she sits down, she's like smoking, and then she kind of says something like oh, she mentions something like, what are you and your friends doing? He was like, well, I don't remember what, but anyway, she starts naming off the new kids, the members of the new kids.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of I think he got the worst out of Pennywise fucking with him. Like, when he was pretending to be Beverly, and she's like, yeah, like, kind of insinuating that she liked him, and then he, like, went in for a kiss. And she's like, whoa, not you. Started laughing. I was like, oh, that's fucked.
Yeah, and then she set her head on fire, and it was...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and that scene when, when they go back to the fucking house, and when Eddie and Richie, that scary... not scary, really scary.
Yeah, not
and the
scary
fucking
at all.
dog.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird because they were like, "Oh, look, cute dog." And it's like, okay, in real life they wouldn't be acting like that. And I
think that was a
them trying to be funny.
No, well, I think because previously they when they were talking about the its true form, and I think
Oh
Richard
yeah, he
says,
said,
I
"What was
hope
a
it's a
big
dog.
fucking dog?" Yeah.
Yeah, he says, I hope it's a dog, like a small dog or whatever, and that's what it was. But yeah, but then that dog ends up growing again, gigantic.
Yeah, but that's all I can think about the say about the movie. I would give it 7 pretty goods out of 10.
7 out of 10. I guess 7. Yes, 7's a good score. I would give a little bit higher if it was shorter. I'm not that I was bored with it, but I think that there was some stuff they really could have got rid of.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have hurt it at all.
I laughed way too much than I was expecting to, also.
Yeah. Well, that's because Bill Hader was in it, but...
yeah, I mean, maybe this, I don't know, I was going to say maybe the supercut's better, but it's longer, and you're complaining it was too long,
yeah.
Which I understand, so I don't know. Maybe it'll kind of make more sense in some of the scenes.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure these two movies combined were well over the time of the longer than the original miniseries.
Yeah.
Just these two movies.
Wasn't the miniseries 3.5 hours or something like that?
I don't remember. For some reason, I would because it was it a 2-night thing?
I think it was.
For some reason, I was thinking it was split up more than that, but I guess it was. Yeah, I guess it was just two nights.
Yeah, Mama, that's where my mom had taped it back in the day, had recorded it on the VHS. I used to watch it all the time.
Yeah, I remember watching it, when it first aired, but
for some reason I was thinking it was
a couple of days. I guess it was the other. Yeah, the kids part was definitely the best of that one. The adult story, it was horrible.
Yeah, I didn't like the cast.
The cast, I liked the cast. I didn't like the cast in that movie. Their acting was horrible. I just didn't like the way, and I seem to have that problem with a lot of Stephen King adaptations. The way that the way the characters are, the grown-up characters are.
I think it's kind of hard to, kind of turn a Stephen King novel into a movie. It's kind of hard to do because Stephen King is. I know a lot of his early books. He did a lot of cocaine, has a lot of crazy shit in his books. Yeah. I thought Gerald's Game was a good adaptation. I know that Stephen King hates The Shining. he hates Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
See, I think that was one of the better adaptations of his.
And, Misery's good.
Yeah, I like Misery. That was a really good one. I mean, I like a lot of his movies, but there's some, and I think it's mainly the made-for-TV ones where I'm just like the acting of the adult characters. They're horrible.
Yeah.
What was one? The Perfect Storm, was that what it was called? Or Storm of the Century?
Yeah, that was
Yeah. The acting in that was horrible.
I know they had a TV series of The Shining too.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. It was, and I think I want to say that one was directed by, or was it directed by Stephen King?
He might have wrote it.
Yeah, maybe he just wrote the screenplay for it. I'm about ready to find out. Yeah, he wrote the screenplay for it.
Maybe it was just the acting.
It was directed by Mick Garris.
Name sounds familiar.
I just didn't really. I don't know. It just wasn't, to me. It wasn't as good.
Yeah.
As The Shining,
well,
the original.
His next movie adaptation, Dr. Sleep. I hope it's very good, and I have high hopes because the director has already done a Stephen King adaptation, which he killed it, and it was Gerald's Game. So hopefully Mike Flanagan will continue his winning streak when it comes to that.
Yeah, I definitely would see that one. I've seen the one trailer, and that was it. And
yeah, they got a new one. I haven't seen the new one.
I don't want to see it anymore. I just want to go into that one with not knowing anything else about it.
Yeah, but that's all I can say about the movie, man.
All right. Well, where can they find you on the internet?
They can find me at Bath Salt Wizard on Twitter.
And you can find me at 1313 Inc. on Twitter, and you can find all the information on our show and the other shows in our network at 1313inc.wordpress.com. And coming up next month, which will be October, we're going to have some special shows. We're going to work on, probably not going to do a lot of single movie episodes, maybe one or two, but we're going to do some other special episodes for October. So definitely come back in October and listen to our episodes. Well, I'll listen to all of them, but October is going to be like a special month. So definitely check those out. And I guess until next time, thanks for listening.
Get you, Barbara.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. The unburied dead are coming back to life, seeking human victims.